My sister died the night she ate from Grace's pot after dark. I know what you're thinking. Food cannot kill you just because the sun went down. But on our street in Lagos, inside our crowded Face Me, I Face You compound, there were rules that did not come from school. They came from fear, from experience, from things people did not like to explain. And the biggest rule was this: never eat from a widow's pot after sunset. Nobody obeyed that rule more than my mother. Nobody doubted that rule more than my sister, Rita. And me? I'm the reason she never saw the next sunrise. Stay with me, because what really happened is not what people think. Grace moved into our compound 5 years before everything went wrong. She came with her husband, David. They were the kind of couple that made people smile without trying. David sold phone accessories at the market. Grace cooked food that could make you forgive your enemies. In the evenings, her window would glow and the smell would travel like gossip. Jollof rice, pepper soup, fried rice, pounded yam with egusi. Children used to gather near her door just to breathe it in. Grace a beg, small taste, they would beg. And Grace, always gentle, always laughing, would dish out little plates even when she didn't have much. That was the Grace everyone loved. My sister, Rita, loved her the most. Rita was 16, bright, bold, the kind of girl who talked about the future like it was already waiting for her. She wanted to become a nurse one day. She used to sit with Grace, learning how to cook and braid hair, talking about school, dreams, and boys. Grace treated Rita like the daughter she never had. Sometimes, Rita would tell her, "When I marry, I want to be like you, kind, soft, loved." Grace would smile and say, "You will be better than me." I believed it until the week I saw David's real face. People in our compound called David a good man. But there was something I noticed that others ignored. When Grace spoke, David sometimes corrected her small, sharp corrections. When she laughed too loudly, he would stare until she quieted down. When men greeted her, David's smile would disappear like light switched off. I didn't understand it then. I just knew that Grace's happiness sometimes looked careful, and then David got sick. It happened like a bad dream. One week, David was strong. The next, he started coughing. Then, fever. Then, he couldn't stand. The hospital said malaria. The medicines did nothing. The fever didn't break. David died on a rainy Tuesday morning. I still remember Grace's scream. It didn't sound like crying. It sounded like something inside a human being tearing. We buried David on Thursday. Everyone came. We brought food and money. We prayed. Grace did not eat. Grace did not talk. She sat by her window and stared at nothing, like her body was present, but her soul was far away. For 2 weeks, she moved like a ghost. Then, on the 3rd week, Grace started cooking again. At first, the compound felt relieved. "Thank God she's coming back," people whispered. But the first night she cooked again, the smell was different. Not spoiled, not burnt, just wrong. Sweet and bitter at the same time, like herbs you couldn't name, like flowers mixed with pepper, like something meant for a mouth that wasn't human. And the strange part was this: Grace only cooked at night. After sunset, her kitchen light would come on. Smoke would rise thick from her window, dark smoke with a sharp smell that made your nose itch. One evening, Mama Chidi knocked at her door. "Grace, my dear, are you okay? Why are you cooking so late?" Grace opened the door only a little. Her eyes looked empty, like someone blew out the candle inside her. "I'm fine, Mama Chidi," she said softly. "Just making dinner, but it's past 9. Grace smiled. It wasn't her old smile. It looked borrowed. "David always liked to eat late," she said. "I'm cooking for him." Mama Chidi stepped back. "Grace, David is dead." Grace leaned closer and whispered like she was sharing a secret. "I know, but he still gets hungry." Then she closed the door. Mama Chidi ran back to her room and locked herself inside. That was the first day the compound stopped feeling safe. 2 nights later, old Papa John called a meeting under the big tree near the gate. Men and women gathered, murmuring. Papa John had lived on that street since before my mother married. His voice always sounded like someone who had seen too much. "Listen," he said, "Grace is not well. I have seen grief turn into something dangerous." Some people laughed. He didn't. When a woman loses her husband and her mind breaks, she can open doors that should stay closed. "Is Marson and..." "Doors to what?" someone asked. Papa John looked around slowly. "To the dead." People shifted. He lowered his voice. "If you eat from a widow's pot after sunset, you invite death to dinner." A few people laughed again, nervous laughter. Papa John lifted his hand. "I beg you, warn your children, warn your family. Nobody should eat Grace's food after dark." That night, my mother repeated it like prayer. Rita heard it. And Rita did what Rita always did when adults sounded afraid. She rolled her eyes. 3 days later, Rita came home excited. "Sister Grace gave me food," she said, holding a covered plate. My mother looked up sharply. "What time did she give you this?" "Just now." My mother turned her head to the window. The sun had already gone down. Night had settled on our compound. My mother stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. "Rita, drop it." Rita blinked. "Mama, drop it. It's just rice and chicken." She said she cooked too much and my mother's voice cracked. "Rita, throw it away." Rita frowned like my mother was being dramatic. "Mama, please. It's 2025. Food is food." My mother reached for the plate. Rita pulled it back. She opened it. The smell filled our room, rich, perfect, mouth-watering. For a second, even I wanted to taste it. My mother started crying. "Rita, please." Rita sighed, annoyed, then took the first spoon. Then another, then another. She looked at my mother with a proud smile. "See? Nothing will happen. I watched her eat like someone watching a door close. And I swear, just for 1 second when Rita lifted the spoon to her mouth, I thought I saw Grace's cold smile on Rita's face. It was so fast, I told myself I imagined it. Rita ate half the plate. Then she went to bed. And that was the last normal moment of her life. I shared a room with Rita. Around 3 a.m., I woke up because I heard her breathing strange, short, quick breaths like she was running inside a dream. "Rita?" I whispered. "Are you okay?" No answer. I sat up and switched on the light. Rita was sitting straight on the bed. Her eyes were wide open. She was staring at the corner of the room where darkness pooled like water. Her mouth was moving slowly like she was speaking to someone, but no sound came out. "Rita," I said, my voice shaking. "What are you doing?" She turned her head toward me, and the fear hit my chest like a heavy hand. Her eyes were not her eyes. They looked deep and empty, like Grace's eyes. "He's hungry," Rita whispered. My throat went dry. "Who is hungry?" "David," she said softly. "He's angry. He said I ate his food." I forced a laugh that sounded fake even to me. "You're dreaming. Wake up." But Rita's gaze slid back to the corner. "I can see him," she murmured. "He's there, in the shadows." I looked. There was nothing, just darkness. Then Rita smiled. It wasn't her smile. It was small, cold, certain. "Okay," she whispered. "I'm coming." She lay down slowly, closed her eyes, and her breathing stopped, just like that. No struggle, no scream, only silence. My sister was gone. The doctors said heart failure. Sometimes young people have hidden problems, they told us. But in our compound, nobody believed that explanation. Because Rita wasn't the first, and she wasn't the last. After Rita died, we heard the same pattern from others. People who ate Grace's food after dark would wake up with strange fear in their eyes, whispering the same words. "He's hungry." Within hours, they were dead. The compound changed. People stopped greeting Grace's door. Children stopped playing near her window. At night, we still smelled that strange, sweet smoke. And sometimes we heard Grace humming, soft, broken humming. But the worst part? Sometimes, late at night, it sounded like she was talking to someone. And a second voice would answer, a man's voice, deep, cold, like a voice coming from under the ground. That was the story everyone believed. Grace's grief opened a door. David's spirit came back hungry. And anyone who ate from the widow's pot after sunset paid with their life. That is what people told themselves. Because it was easier, but it wasn't the truth. And now I will tell you what I never told anyone. If you've ever heard a rule like this in your own area, something your elders warned you never to do, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And subscribe. Because what I'm about to confess is the reason my dreams are not peaceful. I've been lying to you. Not about Rita. Not about the deaths, but about why it started. Everyone blamed ghosts. Everyone blamed curses. but I saw something before David died. A week before David got sick, I was walking home from school when I heard shouting near Grace's door. Grace and David were arguing outside. It shocked me because they never fought in public. David's face was red. His fists were tight. "You think I don't know?" he shouted. Grace was crying. "Please, David, don't lie to me. I saw you." Grace dropped to her knees. "Nothing happened. I swear. He's just a man from my church. We were only talking." "Talking?" David's voice cracked with rage. 3 hours in his car? Grace tried to pull him inside. David grabbed her arm so hard she winced. "You made me look like a fool," he hissed. "You will learn." Then he dragged her inside and slammed the door. I stood there, frozen. I should have told someone. I didn't. That was my first mistake. Behind our compound, there was a mango tree near the back fence. From the right branch, you could see into Grace's kitchen window. I climbed it often, not to spy. I told myself just to see the street from above. But the night before David became sick, I climbed again. And what I saw still lives inside me. Grace was cooking, but not normal cooking. She was grinding dark leaves, mixing black powder, whispering like someone praying and begging at the same time. Tears ran down her face. "Forgive me," she said. "God, forgive me. I can't take it again. He hits me every night now. He says I shamed him. He says I deserve it." Then Grace poured the black powder into David's food. All of it. My body went cold. I wanted to shout. I wanted to run. But fear pinned me. So I climbed down, went to bed, and I said nothing. That was my second mistake. David ate the food. The next morning he started coughing. By afternoon he had fever. 3 days later he was dead. Grace cried at the funeral so loudly, people thought her heart would burst. And for a moment, even I almost forgot what I saw. Almost, but I didn't imagine it. Grace poisoned her husband. After the burial, Grace's mother arrived from the village. Very old woman, eyes sharp like needles. The day after the funeral, I heard them talking at the back, near the kitchen. I was in the mango tree again. Grace's mother spoke quietly. "You killed him." Grace didn't deny it. She only cried. "He was beating me," Grace whispered. "Because people told him lies. Because he wanted control." "I was trapped, Mama." Her mother was silent for a long time. Then she said words that made my skin tighten. "You have broken an old law." Grace shook her head. "Mama, please." "When a woman kills her husband," her mother continued, "his spirit does not rest. Betrayal ties him to her, and at night, when the world is thin, his hunger turns outward." Grace's voice trembled. "What are you saying?" Her mother answered without emotion. "Anyone who eats from your pot after sunset will be called to him." Grace whispered. "That can't be real." Her mother's eyes didn't blink. "You will see." Then she left, and the deaths began. 3 years after Rita died, I couldn't carry it anymore. I went to Grace's house in the afternoon when the sun was high and the compound felt normal. I knocked. Grace opened the door. She looked older than she should have looked, like guilt had been eating her slowly. "I know," I said. Her face tightened. "Know what?" "I saw you," I whispered. "The night you poisoned David." Grace's mouth opened, but no words came. Then she grabbed my arm and pulled me inside, shaking. "You saw? And you said nothing?" Tears rushed out of my eyes. "I was a child. I was afraid." Grace covered her mouth and cried like someone being crushed. "I killed him," she whispered. "And after he died, he came back at night. Not as a man, as something hungry." "Then stop cooking," I begged. Grace shook her head. "I tried. My hands move on their own after sunset. Something inside me stands up and goes to the kitchen. And when people eat, I see it. I see their faces in my dreams. I see him pulling them down." "Tell someone," I said. "Confess." Grace stared at me with eyes full of ruin. "And then what? Prison? Death? Will that bring Rita back?" Her voice dropped. "The curse ends with truth, not with punishment." 2 weeks ago, Grace disappeared. Her door stayed open. Her windows went dark. People said she ran away. Some said she killed herself. Some said David finally dragged her to hell. But I know what happened. I saw her leave late at night, walking with one small bag, moving like someone going to meet their fate. Before she left, she slid a note under my door. I still have it. It said, "Dear child, thank you for trying to save me. Some sins are too heavy. Tell your mother I am sorry about Rita. Tell everyone I am sorry, and tell them this: never let fear silence you. Speak up, especially when you are scared, because secrets are poison. They spread, they kill, and they never die alone. Grace." After Grace left, the cooking stopped, the smoke stopped, the second voice stopped, and the deaths stopped. So that is why nobody eats from a widow's pot after sunset in our compound. Not because people are foolish, not because people love superstition, but because some betrayals are deep enough to tear holes between worlds. And some silence is heavy enough to become murder. Grace poisoned David. David's death became hunger. That hunger fed on anyone who ate from her pot after dark. But the part that destroys me, I could have stopped it. One word, one warning, one moment of courage. Rita would still be alive. Even now, I still see her in my dreams. She is sitting at Grace's table, eating rice, smiling like nothing is wrong. Then she looks at me and asks the same question every time. "Why didn't you save me?" And I wake up with no answer. The lesson is not only about widows. It is not only about curses. It is this: speak up. Say something. Do something. When you see wrong, don't keep quiet like I did. Because your silence may not curse a pot, but it can destroy someone you love. And that kind of curse stays with you forever.